threads. Now you can see the diagram. This is the basic terminology. We have already discussed this in the previous videos. You can see in the checkout in my previous videos. Torque is required for designing the screw. Since this is a rotating component, torque is force into radius. Torque will be applied, so we need to find out the torque. While efficiency is the performance indicator of the power screw. So we will be finding torque required to raise the load, torque required to lower the load, and efficiency of screw threads. Together, this is torque analysis of screw threads. dm is the mean diameter, d is the nominal diameter. You can see in the diagram simultaneously p is the pitch. In the diagram you can see small l is the lead, alpha or lambda is the helix angle. You can see in the diagram w is the load to be raised or lowered. Now we are discussing about torque required to raise, so w is the load to be raised. P is the effort to be applied at the mean radius to raise the load. Mu is the coefficient of friction. Phi, that is the friction angle, and n is the normal reaction between screw and nut. Now since we are going to raise the load, so you have to note down the direction of motion of the screw. It is in upward direction. So our N, normal reaction, that is in upward direction. And since we want to move the load in the upward direction, so our effort P, you can see the direction of effort P, right? It is towards the right. And W, that is the load is going to act on the screw. That's why it is shown in downward direction. Now, this is the diagram that we need to note down. We are going to resolve the other components of the effort P and W. Now, if P is going to act horizontally, then you can see this is P cos alpha and this is P sin alpha. So it becomes a right angle triangle. Same way, if I extend the line of normal reaction, then it will become W cos alpha, and parallel to mu n, there is W sin alpha, the line is drawn. So two right angle triangles are going to take place. Now you need to properly understand the right angle triangles. As the load is being raised, the frictional force between the screw and nut, mu n, acts in the downward direction. It is always opposite to the load, so it is going to act in the downward direction. Considering the equilibrium along the plane. Now, if you did not understand the right angle triangles, you can see if P is shown in the horizontal direction, then the opposite side will become P sin alpha and adjacent side will become P cos alpha. Same way it happens with the W. Now first we are going to consider all the forces which are going to act equilibrium along the plane. So P cos alpha, you can see in the diagram, it is only the only force which is acting in the upward direction. The remaining force W sin alpha and mu n, note down its arrow, it is acting in the downward direction. Now if you don't understand how to put down the arrows, then remember in P cos alpha, P sin alpha, W cos alpha, W sin alpha, how I have marked the arrows. You should always mark the arrows towards the force. P sin alpha, you can see the arrow I have marked in the downward direction because P, it is towards P. Same way P cos alpha, the P is acting in this direction. That's why P cos alpha will also act in that direction. That's why the arrow is shown in that way. Same way W cos alpha, I am going to show it in downward direction because W is in downward direction. Same way W sin alpha, the arrow is shown in this direction because it is towards W. So always note down the forces will, the markings, arrow markings will always act towards the forces. Next, considering equilibrium perpendicular to the plane. So you can see only one force N is in the upward direction. So N is equal to, the other force I'll keep on the other side of equal to, that is P sin alpha, downward direction, and W cos alpha, that is also in downward direction. Now P cos alpha is W sin alpha plus mu n, but from equation 1, that is n is P sin alpha plus W cos alpha. What I'm going to do, I'm going to substitute the value of n in the above equation. So the value is equal to W sin alpha plus mu into P sin alpha plus W cos alpha. Next, I'm going to bring the all the P values together and W values together. So P cos alpha, mu P sin alpha उस side से इधर आ जाएगा, so it will become minus mu P sin alpha, and W sin alpha, mu W cos alpha. Next, I'm taking out P and W as common. So it will become P into cos alpha minus mu sin alpha, bracket complete, is equal to W into sin alpha plus mu cos alpha, bracket complete. I'm just going to let P force over there. The remaining force, the remaining values will come down. So it will become W is equal to sin alpha plus mu cos alpha upon cos alpha minus mu sin alpha. Next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to divide everywhere by cos alpha. So you can see the value will become W into mu plus tan alpha upon 1 minus mu tan alpha. But the value of mu is tan phi. The coefficient of friction is tangent of friction angle. So if I put down the values in above equation, it will become P is equal to W into tan phi plus tan alpha, 1 minus tan phi tan alpha. But this reminds me of the trigonometry rule, which is tan A plus B is equal to tan A plus tan B upon 1 minus tan A tan B. So I'm going to put down the values in that form. So P is equal to W into tan phi plus alpha. Tan A plus B के फॉर्म में रख दिया मैंने. So P is equal to W tan phi plus alpha. Now torque is force into radius. So T is P into dm by 2. So